What's up, everybody? It's Yannick here, Solid Chief, whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video. Haven't made one in a while, and got a long drive ahead of me today, and I thought I could use this time to make a quick video about some things I've been thinking about, and maybe help some people out with, maybe, make them feel less alone. But basically, we're going to talk about some anxiety today. Something that most people deal with. And I've dealt with anxiety for about a decade now, 10 years. And I'm by no means an expert on how to get through anxiety. I just know what worked for me, and I'm not saying that I'm completely healed, because I still deal with it today, but not nearly as bad as it was when I first started. And throughout the 10 years, I gradually got better. So I can kind of give you some some tips on maybe how to cope with it, maybe give you some insight on what I do, what not to do, because I've done that too. Things to maybe avoid doing. How about we start with that? I think we should start with what not to do when you have anxiety, right? And when I say anxiety, obviously there's different forms of anxiety. Personally, what the doctor told me all those years ago is that I have generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder. I don't really like putting labels on myself, but apparently that's what I was dealing with. It was just a generalized fear of everything, life and things. And the panic just, it was like anxiety times 10. It was like I was losing my mind a little bit. But anyway, so obviously I went to the doctor when I started experiencing, symptoms of anxiety, like, you got your fast heart rate, you got your tunnel vision, your freaking hands start getting sweaty. I was getting pins and needles all over my body, because the oxygen was, the blood was, going back and forth, trying to figure out where where I need it. Or is that the oxygen? I don't know. It's one or the other. Like I said, I'm no expert, right? Anyhow, so I was prescribed medication. I was prescribed Klonopin, I think an antidepressant, which I don't remember the name for. I think it was with a B, Buxar, something like that. I forget the name. I apologize. I was put on beta blockers for my heart. So I was scared my heart was going to explode. So they gave me beta blockers. It was a cocktail of drugs that I was taking, prescribed back then, that helped me initially. But over time, I noticed that I just kind of became a sedated zombie. I wasn't myself ever. I was always very, I didn't feel normal, you don't have anxiety per se like you did with the medication, but at the same time, I didn't like who I became on the medication that I was on. And at the same time, I was thinking, like, man, this can't be good for me, like, I know Klonopin is a benzo, whatever the name is, it's a benzo, like Xanax or whatever. It's just, I think it's an extended release. And so what I did was, which is probably something you shouldn't do, is I cold turkeyed everything at one time. And that probably wasn't the best thing. Probably pretty dangerous as well, because I was experiencing all kinds of withdrawal symptoms. Couldn't sleep, couldn't use the restroom, couldn't breathe properly. I mean, for a good month, I was really struggling. Really struggling. I remember it was very a tough situation. But once you get past that, obviously, you do feel a little better. But the anxiety did come back for me, unfortunately, and it came back much worse after that. Much worse. Especially the panic attacks. I would have daily panic attacks. And, you know, back then I used to say, I don't know what's causing these feelings. I don't know why I'm so anxious all the time. I don't know why I'm so tense. But now that I've thought about it and I've dealt with this for so long, there was definitely triggers that happened in my life where it started. It may have started some of that, like when I came out of high school, I was anxious about what I was going to do, and I also had a pretty big health scare after high school. Had an autoimmune disorder, which caused me to lose a lot of weight quickly, and the doctors were basically trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and they eventually figured it out. But it was just a very scary time for me, and I think that caused my brain to be very cautious of everything, and I think it overwhelmed me in a way, and that's what caused a down spiral towards the anxiety and panic attacks that I was experiencing a lot. I mean, to the point where I couldn't live my life properly. I would go to work, but man, I tell you, I was not there. I was so caught up in I was so focused on myself and body, like self-aware, and oh my God, my heart skipped a beat. I think I'm gonna die. Shit like that. Just crazy stuff. You have a cramp in your calf. Oh my God, I got a blood clot. Like it went to that extent, and looking back at it now, it's crazy to talk about because it definitely happened. But one thing that I noticed was I never died. I never died from all the times I thought I would. I never died. So with that being said, I tried different things. I tried smoking marijuana, which made me more anxious. It gives me anxiety. I don't know if some people it's different, but I can maybe smoke a little tiny bit and be okay, but if it's too much, I tip over, and that's it, man. I'm in a bad place, and I still can't, to this day, I can't really do it. Now the CBD stuff is different. I'm not talking about the Delta 9, 8, 10, whatever. I'm talking just CBD. That stuff is actually pretty good. I would recommend, if you do deal with anxiety, to try to give that a shot. It's something that I do occasionally, and it definitely helps. It's definitely a good substitute to benzos and stuff like that, because I tell you, that Xanax and the Klonopin, that stuff isn't good for you, man. That stuff, you're going to be dependent on it, and then you're going to be dependent on that to feel normal, and you don't want that, man. So if it works for you, I get it, but at the same time, it's really not a long-term solution, okay? So with that being said, weed may help people. It just doesn't work for me, right? Also, I would definitely recommend not dabbling into other drugs or alcohol. It makes it worse. Maybe for that day or something where you may feel better, but we're talking about long run here. We're talking about getting better and staying better and being, trying to be, not trying to be anxious all the time, just being at peace. And well, nobody's really at peace ever, in my opinion. Well, I don't know, there's monks and stuff. I don't know, I'm getting off track here, but we just want to be calm, we don't want to have this anxious mind every day, you know? That's my big thing. I just want to have some peace, you know? I don't want to be anxious all the time. I don't want my mind to keep running and tripping over itself and thinking that I'm gonna die, you know? I mean, that's no way to live. So, with that being said, my opinion, getting exercise, getting outside, talking about what's going on, and not just anxiety-wise, like overall, like what's going on in your life. What are you doing that you know is wrong that you can fix? What are things that you're not telling people? Because all that stuff will cause tension in your body, you know. And tension isn't good for anything. You know what I mean? So just try to find out what you're doing in your life that may not be good. The drinking maybe, or, you know, maybe it is the weed, or maybe it is the cigarettes, you know, that maybe it is people in your life that you may need to cut out, you know. Like what steps do you need to take? What do you want to do? You know what I mean? In your life, job-wise, you know. That can give you anxiety too, but have a plan, have a goal. Because when I was dealing with my peak, when I was having a really bad time with anxiety, I didn't have a goal. I was just aimlessly trying to survive, and that's no way to live. You need to have goals. And I think there's 3 important things. You need to talk about it with somebody, either a therapist, a loved one that you can trust, that you know won't judge you. Exercise. It doesn't have to be you don't have to become a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? You don't have to become a marathon runner. Just get some exercise every day. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Just something. Because something is better than nothing, you know? And then also, try cutting out things in your life that may cause anxiety, like caffeine. You know, I know we love our coffee. I do too. I love coffee, but like I said, I can deal with it nowadays. I've learned to cope with it. And the biggest thing for me is I finally realized that I never died, you know? Like, each time I would have a panic attack, I thought I was going to die, I never did. And it finally clicked in my mind, like, you know, I got this, you know? Because anxiety is just, it's like a superpower, you know? It's like, your body's basically preparing you for an event, but there's nothing going on the outside. It's just your body, you know. People have different forms of anxiety, that's all I'm saying, but it's really it's all in your head, obviously. But with time as well, I just kind of grew out of it, you know. I grew out of it. You know, I think my mind finally clicked, like, hey, just because you're feeling a little anxious doesn't mean you're gonna die. You know? You're not. So, with that being said, I hope that helped. Those are just a couple of things that I do. And by all means, I'm no expert on this, you know, I'm just talking from experience. All I know is that it was really, really bad for me. Really, really bad. And now, I haven't had a panic attack in months. I still have them every once in a while, but they're not even close to what they were, because I can control it. I can control my mind a lot better than I used to be. And I think that comes from maturing, you know, and doing things that are good for you, you know. And the biggest thing, talk to people, man. Don't keep it inside. It'll just build up and build up and build up. More tension. Talk. Let it out. And if you need to make a YouTube video and just talk, do that, man. Just get it out. Get it out, man. Okay? Y'all stay good. I hope this video helped. I hope it did. And stay strong out there, man. We got this. Y'all be good, man. Much love.